même position où vous êtes sur le quai, car le train de secours qui va arriver sera exactement le même et il va arriver au même endroit. Donc lorsqu'il arrivera, on pourra embarquer dedans à bord. Je vous prie de bien vouloir accepter nos excuses pour tout cet inconvénient. Merci.
So train's
Dear
arriving.
passengers, your attention please. We just arrived at the Haute-Picardie train station. We are going to get off the train, and all the passengers must stay on the platform in the same place because the train is going to come. It will be exactly the same, and you will keep the same seats on board the train on the same coach. So sorry for this inconvenience.
Phil, where have you gone? So, we're at Haute Picardie. There's hopefully a little bit of a silver lining, which is that everyone has been asked to go and stay in the same positions because the train that's coming looks exactly the same as this one, which means presumably it will be able to hit high speeds, which means presumably we're only 30 minutes out of Paris.
We think.
We think. The only
We just
thing
don't
that
know
might
when
throw
the
spanner
train's
in the
arriving
works is when this train will arrive.
and how long we can all get on it.
Because they've known that this is a problem for a while, hopefully they've been
I suppose-
communicating with somebody about...
I suppose the question is how many like spare Eurostars or similar trains are there lying about? And how far are they lying about so they can get them anywhere on the line?
Well, I guess we're about to find out.
We're about to find out.
So we're about, an hour after having arrived at Haute Picard station?
Yeah.
It certainly feels like that anyway. So, the train is due in, apparently, at 7:45.
Although
if you
the
can-
train before leaves at 7:41. So
Well, exactly.
I'm not particularly.
I'm pointing you
hopeful.
towards this little screen here. Hang on, let's see if we can take it. Yeah, that is showing that 7:41 is our is the train coming on here, which means that the train isn't turning up until 7:45, which means by the time all these people you can see here have piled on, it's going to be something like 8:15.
And
we're
we
look-
needed to be in Paris for 8:25. Yeah.
Basically, the train will leave here when we should have arrived in Paris, which is it's so frustrating. I think the end result is that they have to pay for night
They said they'll put us
accommodation,
in a hotel.
but I mean, yeah, that's
It's not what we wanted.
it's rubbish. It really is. It's especially rubbish for me because, as we talked about when we foreshadowed this situation when talking about the delay repay setup,
That's probably the train that we would then need to catch to get
Aw.
to Strasbourg.
say it. Yeah, the fact is that if we'd gone... Well, sorry, what was I going to say? Sorry, that tally's really disrupted me. If I were to take the refund as cash, I'd only get 50% back. So Phil has very kindly offered to buy me out of
His 75%
My-
stake.
the voucher, which hopefully you and your partner will use and go have a nice time. But oh, this is so rubbish. It really, really, really is rubbish, and it means that. Well, should we walk everyone through what this means for our travel plans now?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we were hoping to get to Vienna for tomorrow morning. That was the plan, to then go east. We will still try to go towards Vienna, but we'll have lost a lot of time because the night train that we've now missed would have got us into Vienna about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I think the next best train gets us into Vienna for what, like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. So we've then lost kind of five hours, which it's not horrendous, but it's not ideal.
Well, 7 hours.
7 hours even.
I mean, basically we lose the sleeping time. And the thing is, if any of you are watching this right now and trying to plan a trip, the biggest thing that you need to look out for
are the night trains.
Are the night trains. Because the night trains allow you to keep moving while you sleep. But we are now going to miss well, there might be some of you wondering, but there are night trains south. That is true. But in order to maximize our distance, going south doesn't make any sense.
Getting to Seville or wherever it is not.
Well, yeah, even if we get to Nice and we keep heading east. The fact is that we run into the Balkans very soon, and the Balkan railway connections are not good.
Yeah, I suppose. Even getting to Sicily doesn't get us as far as
we think we can get. We've done the calculations, and we have an idea of how far east we can go.
I think our best bet is east, not south.
Yeah, and specifically southeast. That's the annoying thing. There is a Brussels train that's due, and that's the one on the board just now. But the problem is, because we're running this as the crow flies, we're looking at distance from London, which means it's not just kind of distance travelled, it's also making sure you hit the right longitude to have travelled sufficiently far. So I think our best bet is to just take the hotel room, try and have a relaxing night despite this terrible setback, and to go in the morning. We're looking at a 7:20 a.m. train
7:20.
to Mannheim, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that train then connects on to
Let me see if I can get the
Munich.
itinerary.
So that's what we're going to be looking to do. Yeah, not the ideal start, but hey, it's not about how you start a race; it's about how you finish it. On the move again. So we're on the emergency /help/ whatever train.
We're on the train we didn't expect nor hope nor
Or
want
want.
to be on.
It's just hit 8:30.
Yeah, we've just seen our Plan B train go off the departures board at Gare de l'Est, so we're now on to Plan C,
Yeah.
which is a free night in Paris, courtesy of Eurostar, but which in any circumstance would be great, except this.
Yeah, not this one. Not this one. I don't think I've ever looked forward to a night in Paris less than this one. How are you feeling, Phil?
Okay, this time
Yeah,
I'll stop.
I'm feeling a bit despondent, but at the same time, this is what train travel is about. It's unexpected delays. I think we've got a bit of ground to make up tomorrow. First thing in the morning, we'll head off and see how much time we can catch up.
Yeah. It's it's been a setback, but hopefully with a good sleep and a good bite to eat, we can come at it refreshed tomorrow. Hopefully ICE and Deutsche Bahn get everything running okay. Yeah, that's the hope.
Yeah,
We put our faith in the French, and now we're putting our faith in the Germans.
Yeah, I mean, the French, I don't know to what extent we can count the Brits, but either way, the train between France and the UK.
Yeah, either way, this has been disastrous. But yeah, hopefully Hopefully it's all gonna be better in the morning, as they say. See you in Paris. Welcome to Paris. Whoa. I'm sure you, the lovely viewers, will be delighted to know that we have arrived in Paris. Just catching up with Phil. We have arrived in Paris 2 hours and 59 minutes behind schedule. And you just know that Eurostar...
Which means we've lost out on 15% of our compensation money.
By seconds.
By seconds.
Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Eurostar. This has not been a pleasure whatsoever.
I mean, look, they better at least put us up in the Four Seasons.
Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. So anyway, we are now going to try and track down some Eurostar staff and see what the situation is. It's a beautiful station. For what it's worth. You know, in the same way that I hear the music that was being played as the Titanic sank into the ocean was quite nice.
Quite a melody.
Well, at least we're on the continent.
Yeah, we made it out of the
Journey
UK.
1 finally complete.
Well, technically, yeah, Journey 2. I mean, if you 2 trains down.
No, if the intent was Paris, I'm calling Paris the end of Journey 1.
We're not talking. Journey 1 is
Hope Picard.
Picard, and Hope Picard to Paris is Journey 2.
Funnily enough, no.
Well, it's pretty
Any last words before we sign off from Gare du Nord?
I look forward to my stay at a 5-star hotel in Paris, courtesy of Eurostar, and I expect nothing less.
Me too. Yeah. Oh, we're actually at opposite ends. Right, let's see the room. This is nice. So hang on, despite the fact that we asked for 2 singles, there are actually 2 singles in here. I feel like this hotel exists purely for situations in which train companies have been delayed.
Given that everyone else also had Eurostar under their name, I think you might be right.
And the other ones had tallies, yeah, it was very funny. Right, I'm going to go drop my stuff and then let's get dinner. Well, yeah, as you can see, viewers, it's pretty miserable. We're up pretty early. We got our free breakfast, that was fun. We've secured a bag full of food, and now we're hoping to get on the road, well, on the rails, and keep heading east. Phil, I feel like I'm going to regret these words, but I think we're finally heading out of France and heading for Germany.
We are finally heading to Germany, but we have got a hectic day today. Whereas our original route meant that we'd have a bit of comfort on the way and some nice long changes between trains. we've now got to hop on and off 3 trains with, I think, an average of 13 minutes changeover every time.
Yeah, and you know what? I have a bad feeling this one isn't going to leave on time either.
vote every time you're inconvenienced, but we have so many more forums for voicing public opinion more broadly now than we ever did. And I genuinely believe that governments do pay attention to public opinion, and I think that they respond to that. And so I think if you are upset, you should voice your displeasure, and you should voice the position that you believe the government should take, whether that be, most effectively writing to your MP, but also just posting on social media. Again, I think collectively the public responds to public opinion. I think a great example of that was the Gary Lineker incident. So just to kind of give context, BBC broadcaster got taken off the air, incredibly popular. He got taken off the air because you could look at, I'm making up a hypothetical example here, but if, relatively well-paid government employees were asking for a pay rise, and it was quite high, it might be the wrong thing to do.
That is the sound of us arriving into Strasbourg. Strasbourg is a very interesting city. It is right on the border with Germany, so close in fact that you can actually get a tram, a Strasbourg city tram, into Germany, which I always find quite fun.
Didn't you tell me that there was a EU-themed park here?
Well, not quite here, but yeah, not too far from here. There's a place called Europa Park. So, we are finally about to achieve our ultimate aim of getting out of France. We are in Strasbourg. It's very rainy, so there's a good chance you won't be able to see much outside, which is why we're focusing on our beautiful face instead. Phil, what have you learned about Strasbourg?
I've learned that it sits on the border between Germany and Switzerland.
And France. The country it's
and
in.
France, of course, but I think that was taken for granted given that it is in France.
That we are still in France.
But yes, just in case you hadn't figured that out, it sits on the border between France, Germany, and Switzerland.
Yeah, it's got a European Union themed theme park. Theme park? EU theme park? I don't know. Someone knows how to say this.
What can you find in an EU themed theme park?
Like there's like German section and a French section, and
is it just stereotypes?
a little bit, but as a friend,
is there like a cheese themed roller coaster for Switzerland?
For the Netherlands.
You
The Dutch like cheese.
To be fair, actually it's a bit problematic because you've got Swiss like cheese, French like cheese.
You know what? It was
I mean,
a friend
the
of
Spanish.
It was a
you got
friend of
Manchego themed roller coaster.
It was a friend of mine who once said that sometimes stereotypes are just a helpful guide.
Should we talk about how we came to be on this train? What we went through this morning.
Yeah, we did a quick update on the podcast, but we might as well do
Yeah.
something for the vlog as well.
Yeah.
So what happened when we woke up?
We got up, arrived into Gare de l'Est with the intention of getting the first high-speed train east. We're trying to make up time and ground on our original sleeper train, which is a bit slower. We rock up at about 7:10 to get this train, which is a 7:20. We've got our hop-on, hop-off tickets from yesterday. We're then told these aren't good enough. You need to go and get a formal slip. So we have to.
That stamp, by the way, that's
Yeah.
on our tickets.
We have to go run, find the ticket office. We don't know where it is. We managed to find it, run back, make our train with maybe a minute or so to spare. Managed to find some seats, and we're now speeding towards Mannheim, which is where we've got our next layover. 15 minutes.
The drama is still very much real because this little slip, which according to the French was what was necessary to get on this train, marks our destination as Frankfurt, because that's where this train is going. But we're not going to Frankfurt, we are getting off at Mannheim and heading to Munich in order to connect onto another train. So hopefully when we explain that to the Germans, they'll understand the system and they'll understand what we're talking about and they'll be able to help us. But
Yeah, I just hope we don't have to get another one of these for every single fast train.
well, me too, because we only have 12 minutes
We only have
at
12
Mannheim,
minutes, yeah.
so that is really not going to be enough time to go to the ticket office, get another slip like that, and move forward. So we've got to hope that we
Hop
can.
on, yeah.
That we can. You know what? This bloody stamp, it says hop on the next train. Now, I'm no genius, but that suggests to me that as long as you have the stamp and the ticket, you should be able to hop on the next train.
Yeah.
But you know, they may say I'm a dreamer. Right, this is our last update from France. Is there any last words you want to say about the French while we're here?
I'm gonna repeat what I said yesterday, which is like, once we're out of France, I think we'll have a smoother journey, and I still think that holds true.
What's our last words?
So we've now we're about what, a kilometre
From the border.
From the border.
You think it's all gonna go right now?
I think it's all gonna go right. I think the Germans are gonna be very chilled out. The trains are gonna run on time. They're gonna let us keep going, and we're gonna get to Budapest in time for our night train.
Let's hold on to that optimism because we really need it today.
The world always needs to see it. People in the world who are interested in.
So,
More good news,
more good news.
which seems to be the theme so far.
Oh, yeah. So, the train that we are on right now also seems to have some sort of technical faults. So, we are delayed by 10 minutes.
10
getting
minutes is what we're seeing so far, which in the normal, ordinary circumstances would be nothing, but we have a 13-minute changeover in Mannheim, so every minute really, really counts here, and we're looking at our phones every minute now to see whether the delay is widening or narrowing.
Pretty much.
It was 5 minutes earlier, then it went out to 20 minutes, and now it's 10 minutes, so it's going to be pretty tight.
Yeah, hopefully it's going the right way. Yeah, we basically have 2-3 minutes to get between Mannheim and Munich. Sorry, to get from this train to the Munich train at Mannheim. and if we don't do it, there is another train that heads to Munich.
13 minutes later.
13 minutes later.
The reason we're going to Munich is we're then trying to go east onto Budapest, and so if we take the later train to Munich, there's then a 3-minute layover in Munich, which I think is going to be a bit too much.
Well, and also we will almost certainly miss the Budapest train at that point.
Well, exactly.
So at that point we'd really have to think about how we can continue moving east.
Yeah. Look, we're just hoping that we can make up some time.
Hopefully.
That they're being a bit conservative with the delay. I mean,
let's hope.
you know, I think 10 minutes delay might just give us enough time to change over in Mannheim, particularly if the train is at the adjacent platform. But we're hoping for a lot.
What did you
here.
say? Once we left France, everything would be great?
Well, to be fair, we found out about the delay in
okay.
France.
So you're going to keep blaming the French then?
It's a good strategy.
I see. So not funny. Welcome to Mannheim. We've gotten in about 10:34, so we've missed that half-past train, and now we're looking at getting on a train at 10:43 from platform 5, I think. So now we've just got to navigate this train station and see if we can find our way there.
Playing catch up.
Yep. I mean, the luck has just not been going for us this trip. 2 trains, both with technical faults.
Yeah, we've now missed 2 trains. We've missed as many trains as we've caught.
Oh, don't say that. That's so depressing. Right, up here.
What were we saying about setbacks earlier?
Yeah, go check out the podcast, guys, exclusive to Patreon. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of GeoGames Rail Race. If you'd like plenty more where that came from, then head to patreon.com/IronLifeProductions, where not only can you watch the next episode for free right now, but you can support the amazing work that we do, helping emerging artists from around the world create high quality art. You can do that right now. Just head over to patreon.com/IronLifeProductions and get supporting our work today.